achieved.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Studio Day Jeffrey for another day of Cowboys content. Maybe some Mavs, maybe some Rangers. And a lot of you in the comments are getting a little carried away with getting me to do bits here on camera because, I did the headband, I did the no hat, did that for you guys. And then somebody said, I bet you won't bleach your hair blonde like Justin Timberlake. And you're right, I won't. And Pete, I think, wanted me to do all sorts of wild stuff with my hair. Somebody wanted me to do Post Malone tattoos on my face. I won't do those. You have found the line. But somebody else said, I bet you won't wear receiver gloves for the entire video. And you did not cross the line. See that? Get your cutters. Get the cutters out. These things have scored probably more touchdowns in flag football history in the state of Texas than any pair that's ever been worn. Get you some cutters, bro. Or some Nikes or whatever you like. But yeah, I'll damn sure wear these the entire video. I'll hold them up like Ron Burgundy. You kidding me? Okay, things we got to talk about today. I got to break a rule. I got to take a glove off because I got to get to the tweets that I want to read for you guys, because today's biggest headline in Cowboy world has got to be that we're actually getting words from members of the Dallas Cowboys about the Cowboys offense this year, which is exciting. Amari Cooper. I love Amari Cooper in some ways. In some ways, his performance on the road and as the year goes on has been maddening. But I love Amari Cooper because of his personality. Like, he just seems like the most even-keeled dude ever. He's so kind of confident in what he's going to say, but he's not real worried about how it sounds to you, and he's just kind of like, yeah, whatever. Like when he was asked about Dak's contract, and he's just like, nope, I don't talk about that. And it was like, well, what do you think about being in that position? I don't think about it. It's like, nah, that ain't for me. Okay, so let me get to the Amari Cooper things from yesterday that I enjoyed reading about and that maybe we can learn some things about. Step one, Amari Cooper on why he passed up bigger offers to remain a Dallas Cowboy. And here's what he said, quote, I just like everything about being a Dallas Cowboy, the culture we've created here and just the atmosphere, both in the building and outside the building. Being in the city of Dallas and the surrounding areas, and I guess that would be the same reason why I was willing to take less money to stay here. That, coupled with the fact that I had the privilege of being able to play on a different team, I understand that every culture isn't the same. Shots fired at the Raiders. I understand, every city isn't the same, every team isn't the same. Me being able to see that while being on another team and having the opportunity to be on a team that I really love, I wouldn't trade that for a little bit more. Now, I wonder if that answer changes if it wasn't just the Washington football team that was offering him more money, because I could turn that down too for the difference between $20 and like $22 million. Amari Cooper also saying that the Cowboys' plays are pretty much the same or similar this year as they were a year ago, and I wonder if that's going to make anybody mad that's watching right now. Cowboys' plays pretty much the same or similar, though the verbiage, and that's what Dave Hellman said. He typed verbiage. I don't know. Cooper might have said verbiage. Could have been verbiage. I don't know. May have changed a little bit now that McCarthy and Kellen Moore are working together. And I tell you what, that's okay. I think when something doesn't go well enough, like last year's football season, we tend to be like, change everything, blow it up. Let me get the glove back in the picture here. But you don't got to do all that. The Cowboys' offense was really good last year on the whole. I know you can isolate games and situations and say it wasn't good enough there, and that's true. But on the whole, you had a really good offense last year. It doesn't need an overhaul. It needs a tweaking. It needs Kellen Moore to be free on the road games and the tougher opponents to continue being what he was early in the year, which is a guy that was heavily invested in the pre-snap motion, was willing to throw on early downs. That guy existed. I think it was the Jason Garrett poll that made that stop existing in tough environments, because that is Jason Garrett's football character is, pull it back now. We got a Hall of Famer here. Let's run it to him. Let's run it now. Let's control this clock. Like all of the somewhat outdated football sayings, those are Garrett. Hold on, let's control the ball now. Let's execute. Let's control the line of scrimmage. So you don't have to change a lot. So I'm cool with what Amari Cooper said. You don't have to change a lot. He also said the Cowboys' goal is to have 3 1,000-yard receivers, with CeeDee Lamb joining him and Michael Gallup from a year ago. And I said this, I believe, yesterday. I don't just think that it's possible they have 3,000-yard receivers. I think it's more likely than not that they have 3,000-yard receivers. That's how good CeeDee Lamb is. As a rookie, he should be able to step in, even with a limited training camp. That dude shines on the big stage. He loves the big games. He loves the big moments. He has a well-rounded game. I don't think there's a transition problem coming into the NFL for CeeDee Lamb. So that's Amari Cooper talking about the new Cowboys offense. Second thing that we need to talk about today, okay? Second thing we got to talk about here. Can I put the glove back on? No, because I'll probably go back for mailbag stuff. But the second thing we got to talk about is Dak Prescott for just a second. But don't worry, I'm not talking about his contract at all. What I'm talking about is my guy's leadership ability, okay? Because this is another one of the Amari Cooper quotes. And I know we've seen pictures, or you've probably seen pictures on social media if you follow Dak. Amari Cooper says he and a number of offensive players have been working out pretty consistently together to get their timing right with Dak. Recently, those workouts have been at Prescott's, who just had a football field constructed at his home. My guy built a real-life football field in the backyard. He did that. A real-life football field. Not like you went and painted your grass. That dude had that built. My guy hadn't been balling like that. He wasn't a first-round pick, and he put a football field in the backyard. That is leadership. Because do you know what that does to home values? I'm a homeowner. That resale value just went down. You do not recoup the money of putting a football field in. Do you know how many people, when they pop on Zillow to look for a house, are going to see that there's a 40, 50, 60, however many yards regulation football field in the back? You know how many people are going to think, oh, that makes the house worth more? None. Unless it's another dude that's coming to play for the Dallas Cowboys. Dak just tanked his home value for you and for football. That's a damn leader, for crying out loud. Shout out to my 16%ers, by the way. Those who have the notifications turned on and don't miss a video. I love you guys. Leave in the comments if you're part of that club. And also in the comments, we want questions for tomorrow. I still have a ton of things I can get to today, but we want questions for tomorrow. But I'm going to go back to the Dan Turner well, my buddy Dan Turner, who I love so much. G'day, Dan. He said, I might have lost it, though. I could read it even if it's not verbatim, though. Here we go, Dan Turner. This is for in the comments. You're going on a 3-hour solo car journey. You can only play a collection of songs from one music artist. You can't skip any songs. You can't stop the music. You can't change the volume. Who are you picking? So you are looking for somebody who not only has a solid catalog and a good collection of good songs, but if they've made 20 albums and like 16 of them suck, you can't pick that artist because you don't know what song's coming up next. So, who is your artist? Who's your band? I'm not a big like U2 or Eagles or Pink Floyd or Zeppelin guy. I apologize for that. So I will tell you, the options for me are mostly country. See, like I could go Lil Wayne because Lil Wayne got hot when I was like in high school and his early stuff I loved. But there's so many songs that I'm kind of like, Outkast is the one hip-hop group where they're in consideration to be chosen because I don't hear a lot of Outkast songs at all anywhere where I'm like, I love Andre. Big boy too, but I love Andre. I think the safest bets are Garth Brooks and George Strait. But I'm a Texas country guy, so for me, I might go Robert Earl Keen. I might go Roger Krieger. But I'm going to officially go Outkast. Just know 4 of my 5 finalists were country, but I'm going Outkast because I love Outkast and I love Andre 3000. But who are you going with? All right, next up. Let me see. Nathan, I love the Assassin's Creed franchise the most. Oh, yeah, we were talking about what's your favorite video game of all time yesterday, and I don't know if I answered, but mine is either SOCOM 2, Halo 1, the current Call of Duty, Warzone that I'm playing. I liked Fortnite for a while. The Final Fantasies. 1, 2, American version of 3, which I think was actually 4, and 7, and 10, because 10 had Blitzball. I'm a Final Fantasy nerd. Skyrim. I got stuck on World of Warcraft for a while. The original Warcraft or StarCraft. Oh, man, there's a bunch of good ones. Let me see here. He says, can you talk a little bit about the woes the Mavs are having in the bubble games right now? What do you see them doing in free agency? Problem is free agency is not exactly loaded this offseason, so if you want big changes on the Mavericks roster, you may have to wait a whole nother season for that. But their woes are they don't know how to win yet. And maybe their roster isn't ready for it either. A lot of their role players seem to fit this team really well. But I wonder if it's enough when you're going up against the best teams in the league consistently, where Luka and KP is an awesome start. That's, you don't even need another star player. But, man, what if, like, Patrick Beverley was on this team? Danny Green? If they can find a guy that can shoot and is a dog on defense, I think that would do a lot for them. So hopefully they can do that soon. What are your expectations for the Mavericks next year? That's Jordan Bourne. Oh, we're getting some Mavericks love in here. My expectations for the Mavericks next year, they win more than 50 games. They're a top 4 seed in the West, and hopefully they're able to have a legitimate chance at a championship. I just don't know what they can do to the roster this offseason. So what you'd have to have is you'd have to have big-time progression from guys like Maxi Kleba, Dorian Finney-Smith, Seth Curry would have to continue to shoot the lights out, Tim Hardaway Jr., all of those guys are useful and at times are really good, but I don't think any of those guys you want to be the third best player on a championship team. So you're going to have a bunch of dudes that take strides. Dwight Powell coming back, Brunson, like all those guys in the NBA they're just guys. And somebody's got to be better than they are currently for you to have I think, a legitimate shot at it. But again, Luka and KP, maybe they can be so good together that they overcome that, and that's certainly possible. Hunter Fox. Jeff, what would you do if the Cowboys got Jamar Chase next year, the LSU wide receiver? Whatever you guys wanted me to do. I'll cut off a pinky. I'll shave my nips. Whatever. Yeah. You tell me we're going 4 wide every play? Getting the best receiver in next year's draft? Yeah, come on with it. Let me see here. JB, longtime 16%er here. Could this Cowboys team legit have a 5,000-yard passer, 1,200-yard rusher, 3,000-yard receivers? And has that ever been done before? I don't know if the teams with the 3,000-yard receivers before had a 5,000-yard passer or 1,200-yard rusher. But, yes, that's possible. That's totally possible. Zeke gets 1,200 every year. 5,000-yard passer. It's possible. That's the part that I'll probably bet against. I think the 4,900 last year was a really big number. I don't necessarily think Dak's going to repeat that. But sure, possible. And let me see here. Whoa, 16%er Mike says, fine, notifications are on. With the O-line staying a focus in the draft the past few years, when do we see the stalwarts? Tyron Smith, Zach Martin getting pushed out? Or do they develop the young guns and ship them? They haven't drafted anybody to replace those two. Who did they draft to replace Zach Martin? They're drafting guys to compete for center and guard. You guys need to back up off of Tyron and Zach, okay? Yeah, Tyron's got a back that he's going to have to handle for the rest of his life. He's still kick-ass. All this talk about moving Tyron Smith and pushing Tyron Smith out of town, I'm not here for it. Tyron Smith is still a monster. Zach Martin is probably the best guard in football. Tyron Smith is probably a top 3 left tackle in the league still. Y'all chill out. You know, your problem is y'all don't like winning. Y'all not ready for success. Trying to get rid of the things that are leading to success. You're trying to get worse protection for the quarterback and worse holes for the running game. Ugh. Rough Sooners made it to 17 flat. Love you, bud. Question, is there a chance Jarwin's ceiling can be Kelsey? I don't think so, because I don't think he can be as physically imposing as Kelsey, and I don't think he's quite as athletic. But I do think he can be a seam threat. He can be an after-catch threat. And now your tight end can average you 10 or 11 yards per catch, as opposed to Jason Witten getting you 8 yards a catch. So I like Jarwin. I like the athleticism that he brings. I don't think he could ever be Kelsey or Kittle. I think what he can be is an athletic tight end that can help you threaten that seam and work in a lot of areas that are created by having 3 kick-ass receivers. So I do think Jarwin's going to have a really good year. Pedro Gomez Jr. I never hear you talk about boxing. Do you like boxing? If so, maybe you could do a quick segment about it, or is this strictly Cowboys? This is whatever I want, and it's whatever you want. I like boxing. It's not as, I guess, relevant in my brain as it was when I was younger and you had American heavyweights going to war. That was awesome. But I like where we're at now, where you've got Wilder and Fury and Joshua. I'm a big Errol Spence fan, so I hope he whoops Danny Garcia here pretty soon. But, yeah, we can talk about whatever you want on here, all right? And leave in the comments what you want to talk about tomorrow. Let me know if you made it to 1543 and if you're a 16%er. And whose music are you playing on a 3-hour car journey? Can't skip. They better have a good catalog all the way through. Better be great. All right. Love you guys. Bye. Talk to you tomorrow.